The opinions expressed on the X and Y show are the sole opinions of the host. Please note, there is no intentional desire to offend any member of the listening audience. With that said, if you still feel offended, tough shit.
It's time for the X and Y show with your host, Mr. Roosevelt. He talks about man topics, lady topics, and relationships. He talks about love, sex, and infidelities. He even gives good tips. There is no other show that compares to the X and Y show.
Oh yeah. Sit back, take your clothes off, and relax. It's time for the X and Y show, where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. The only place on the planet that tackles the topics that everyone wants to talk about, but no one is brave enough to address. Nothing escapes X and Y, baby. Now, here's your host, Roosevelt Colbert.
And greetings. Welcome to another segment of the X1 Show, and I'm your host, Roosevelt. It's another week. It's another week going by, and we're getting closer and closer to Christmas. Can you believe it? The best holiday of the year. But, we had to get through Halloween first. I like Halloween, I just don't enjoy it like I used to when I was a kid. Because, I don't go trick-or-treating. Well, I go tricking, but no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't want y'all to stop believing this shit. But I do enjoy Halloween, too, the festivities, although this year going to be different. A lot of shit you can't be doing. Anyway, I'm still glad to be in the season. Then we got Thanksgiving. We got some good things coming. It's still a good time of year to enjoy. I'm looking forward to it. It's starting to get cooler a little bit, or not as humid. And hey, this is my time of year. You guys know this is my favorite time of year, and we're getting closer. These bird months are wonderful. And I want to remind everyone that my birthday is next month. Remember, be a Patreon. Oh, my goodness. All right, let me get into this week's question. This is from Carol. Roosevelt, love your show. Open your mind. Try new things. I think you would be a great sub. I could teach you. I gotta just laugh at that shit. Well, thank you, Carol. I think Carol wants. For those of you who don't know what Carol's talking about, she's saying I'd be a great sub. She's talking about I'd be submissive. So Carol wants to beat my ass. I don't do that, Carol. My mind would never be that open. I don't, and I'm not being a dom either. I don't believe in beating a woman's ass. I don't. Look, to each his own. I'm not putting anyone down. I think I had an episode on this way back, but that's just not for me. I'm definitely not getting my ass whooped, and I'm not beating nobody's ass either. What the fuck you got to do all that shit for anyway? When you're fucking, I don't get it. But or sometimes they don't fuck. They just beat each other's ass, and like I said, to each his own. But that's just not for me. Sorry, Carol, you won't be teaching me how to be a sub. That's just something that I do not desire to learn how to do. But I thank you for listening. Next question from Paul. My wife has small breasts. I like my breasts big. I asked her to get an augmentation and even offered to pay. Such a nice guy. But she refused. What should I do? Well, Paul, I say the only thing that you can do is leave your wife the fuck alone. She has told you that she does not want to get an breast augmentation. So that should be the end of it. You should leave her alone. Your wife is not willing to alter her body for your ego. And I think that I'm glad your wife was strong enough to speak out, because so many women and so many guys actually have made modifications to their bodies because of their spouses and not really wanting to. They were happy with their bodies, but they made certain changes or modifications or augmentations, whatever you want to call it, because someone else suggested it. Someone else said they'll like them better. And a lot of people can't say no, and they don't say no, and they get that shit and end up being really unhappy. So, Paul, I'm glad your wife actually told you no, and you should leave her the fuck alone. Stop mentioning that shit. You knew your wife had small titties before y'all got married, but obviously you loved other things about her, whether her attitude or ambition or her eyes and other lovable features that she have, physically and mentally. So there's other things you love about her, I assume, or you want to marry her. So the titties were not that important then. Why bringing them up now? Why keep bringing that up? She's already told you no. So stop fucking with her. If you keep fucking with her, what's going to happen is she'll start feeling depressed and saying that, wow, I'm not enough for Paul. And then some other motherfucker out there come along and say, hey, Paul's an idiot. And then next thing you know, somebody fucking your wife. No, I'm just kidding. But on a serious note, leave her alone. Your wife has already told you that she does not desire to do that. That should be the end of it. Period. That's the only advice I have, and I think that's the only advice you should get. Don't try to force someone to change themselves just because you will like them better. And, now, don't get me wrong, I like titties too. For those of you who are listening to the X and Y show a lot, I like titties. Big titties. Not F or nothing, or G and all that crazy shit. But yeah, I like some D's and some C's. But I'll take A's and B's. It's not required for you to have big titties. I just prefer you do. But I would never ask a woman to change herself just to appease me. I think that's very selfish. So, Paul, leave your wife the fuck alone. She's already told you no. And just move on. Live with it. Watch porn or some shit. All right? Let's get into this week's episode. Should you be friends with your ex? Should you be friends with your ex? Now, when I say ex, I'm talking about ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, ex-husband, your ex in general. Now, personally, I don't believe in that bullshit. Because that's what it is. Just straight up bullshit. You couldn't stand each other while you were going together, while you were dating. You couldn't stand each other when you were married. You couldn't reconcile. Otherwise, you wouldn't have gotten a divorce or you wouldn't have broke up. And now y'all want to be friends. Now y'all want to be buddy. And you heard it, people always saying, oh my goodness, my ex, we're the best of friends. I've always running by him or her and just see what they're thinking because they know me, we've been through some things together. And so we're just good friends now. We're excellent friends. He's my best friend. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. What kind of bullshit is that? It don't even sound right. I don't even feel right saying it. The fuck out of here. Now, the only exceptions to this, obviously, if you have kids together, then you should be cordial with one another. But you don't have to be no damn friends. You can be cordial. You can be friends for the sake of the kids. But that don't mean you should be fucking friends. Why you gotta be friends? I actually stopped dating this girl once because every time I look around, her ex was around. Every time I look around, that motherfucker was around grinning and shit. And you know me, I'm gonna talk, I'm gonna communicate. I asked her one, what the fuck you keep asking that motherfucker to come around for? I don't want to see that motherfucker. Why you keep asking him to come around? And the classic reply to that, oh, you're threatened. You're not confident in yourself. You don't have any self assurance. What do you have? A low self esteem? All that bullshit. And I don't have a low self esteem. I'm not threatened by anybody. I'm handsome. I'm considerate. I'm loving. I'm chivalrous. And I got some real good dick. Some real good dick. Yeah. So no, I'm not threatened by nobody. Nobody. But it's just I feel that in my opinion, this is my opinion, because that's what the X and Y show is about. It's from my point of view, right? And so I'm going to give it. My opinion is purely disrespectful for your ex to be around. Why the fuck they got to be around? They lost those privileges. And trust me, your current boyfriend or your current girlfriend or your current wife or your current husband, they may not say anything, but they don't want their asses around. Trust me. Trust me on that one. They're just not going to say anything because they don't want to get in an argument and start some bullshit, and they just don't want to start anything, so it's just not worth it to them. But trust me, they don't want their asses around. Trust me. And it's disrespectful for you to have them around. The fuck for? What is the need for you to be inviting your ex over to holiday events? Even if you all got kids together. What is the need for that? Now, some of you might say, well, my kids wanted their father there. Well, too bad. Shit. Tell your kids that daddy won't be coming over this year or again as long as I'm in this motherfucker. So tell your kids too damn bad. Daddy will have his dinner, then y'all can go over there later. Shit. But daddy not coming here. I'm sorry, Mom. Yeah, she won't be able to make it this year. Okay, Mom won't be able to. What is the need for them to come over for holiday events? What is the need for them coming to family events? Unless, like I said, you have kids together and he or she is going to the graduation, the high school graduation, college graduation, that kind of thing. That's different. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about family events like birthdays, bar mitzvahs, sweet 16, whatever you want to, anything other than a high school graduation or college graduation, anything other than that. I know a lot of you saying, well, what's wrong with the birthday? What is the birthday? No, fuck that. Let them have their own birthday at their house, but they're not coming over here. They lost those privileges. What is the need for that? What is the need for you going to their family events? And I'm not making this shit up. You guys know people who the ex has been divorced for 10 years and the ex-wife still going to dinner and shit over his parents' house. Or the ex is still coming over to the wife's house to have dinner and shit and all kind of crazy. Yeah, I'm not making this shit up. There's a lot of crazy motherfuckers out there that still friends with their exes and do things with their families and all kind of shit. What is the need for that? What is the need for you to talk with your ex for hours on the phone? You know, I'm not making this shit up. You guys know, you know exes that talk to each other on the phone for hours. The fuck out of here. What is the need for that? Move on. You lost your privileges. You're an ex, you lost your privileges. You can't come to holiday dinners no more. You can't come to family events anymore. You can't talk to my lady on the phone anymore. Although I would never put up that shit. But no, you can't have any interaction with one another unless it's something about the kids. You want me to come over, pick up Junior? How's Junior doing in school? That kind of shit. Okay, I'll talk to you later, blah, blah. That kind of shit. Real short. You know. So I don't see the need in that. What is the need of an exes being friends? I'm not saying you shouldn't be cordial. No, I'm not saying that. You should be cordial to one another. Even if you don't have kids, you should respect one another. You should be friendly to one another. But you don't have to be no damn friends. And speaking from a man's point of view, I've had exes in the past who I've tried to be friends with, and I was friends with a few of them actually. But, I'm only thinking about one thing. I want that pussy. I want that pussy one more time. Or a few more times. That's all I'm thinking about. Is the pussy. Now, of course, don't get me wrong. I'm not like that now. Trust me. I'm not like that now. I won't lie to you. I'm talking about years ago. When I was younger. I was still, I was living by different laws back then. I'm not talking about now. But speaking from a man's point of view, when I wanted to be friends with my exes, it was only for one purpose. To get that pussy. That's all. It was nothing else. I mean, let's be real. We're all adults here. Why in the fuck do you want to be friends now? You broken up, you've been divorced, whatever the case may be. Why the fuck you still interacting? Why do I have to see his ass around grinning? No. The only way I want to be around, I'm still trying to fuck. Speaking from a man's point of view. And I know how a man think. So that's why I don't want my girl's ex around. Because I know what he's trying to do. I know a lot of you guys say, well, I'm friends with my ex and I don't want to have sex with her. Well, you're special. You're unique. There's always exceptions to the rule. But for the most part, when a guy want to be friends with his ex, he just want that pussy again. And the same thing with women. They're the same shit. Actually, women are worse. Women love, I've seen it with my own eyes. Women break up with their boyfriend and he's moved on. He got another girlfriend and she's trying to talk to him and be friends, trying to fuck him. And I've seen it happen too many times. Because, guys are weak. They're not going to refuse pussy being thrown at them, not too many times. So with some women, that's like, it feels good. Like, okay, now, ate my pussy, you can go home to her now. You'll always belong to me. So that kind of shit. It works both ways. So this is why I don't believe that exes should be friends. Tell me, what is the reason? And I'm not saying, again, I'm really stressing this. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be cordial. I'm not saying that you should hate one another. No. Absolutely not. I'm not saying that. There's no need for more hate. But what I'm saying is, why do you have to be friends? What kind of shit is that? is purely disrespectful to your current boyfriend or your current husband or your current wife, or your current boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever the case may be, it's disrespectful to them. Keep those motherfuckers away. You broken up or you been divorced, keep their asses away. No need to be friends. What for? Give me one good reason. What do you need to be friends for? Anyway, that's just the way I feel about that. And I feel strongly about that. I don't believe that you should be friends with your ex. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. No one would ever change my mind on that. Because I know what that guy's really, I know what his real intentions are. He's trying to, I told that girl before when I was the one that I broke up with, because of that, I said, don't you know that he trying to fuck you again? Don't you know that? No, he's not. No, that dumb shit. And who knows? Maybe they probably did fuck. I don't know. I didn't know about it. But I wasn't waiting around to be a sucker either. I told her how I felt. I communicated to her. I was honest. And I told her I don't want that motherfucker around. I told her just like that, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to see his ass around no more. She went to all this bullshit. Oh, he's just a friend. He means nothing. Okay, I'm out. What? Why? Shit, you know why. Anyway. Email me. Send me a direct message. Do something. Give me one good reason why exes should be friends. Give me one good reason. And I'll make a second episode to this, like a part 2. Or not a part 2, but I'll mention it in another episode, and I'll give you a call out. If it's a good reason. Send me an email, anything. Give me a good reason why two people that are exes should be friends. Because I don't see a reason. I don't see a good enough reason for that. Other than you might be trying to fuck again. That's the only thing I can see. Because I know what they're trying to do. But are you trying to do that as well? I don't know. Some of you saying, oh, that's ridiculous, Roosevelt. Is it? Especially if they're attractive. Motherfuckers looking like Brad Pitt or Albie Shore or somebody. But if they're ugly as hell, then maybe you wouldn't have a problem with it. Who knows? Anyway, that concludes this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe to the XY Show, whatever listening venue that you listen to. I'm on quite a few. I'm on Podbreed Network. Check it out. Podbreed has a lot of other indie podcasts that you'll enjoy. I'm on iHeartRadio, CastBox, Spotify, Google, Apple. So I'm on some more Stitcher, TuneIn. So whichever one you listen to, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know how you're feeling me. I'm also on social media. I'm on Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And you can find all of that on my website, which is www.thexyshow.com. www.thexyshow.com. You can find all of that there. And that is it. And I want you to check out my Patreon page as well. There's a chance to even talk to me if you like. I have a tier. Is that you can talk to me as well, depending on the tier that you join, and give me some feedback and talk to me as why I feel a certain way on something that you heard on the show. So check it out, my Patreon page, and it'll be the way that you can contribute and help me continue to bring you this wonderful podcast. Without further ado, I guess that is goodbye until next week. But I want you all to remember, that you cannot have love without X and Y. Later.
You've been listening to The X and Y Show with your host, Roosevelt Colbert, the place where real relationship issues are talked about and addressed. Join us next time. You can now put your clothes back on. Or not.